Good evening, all. Adding to whatever Deva, Aditya, and Ramesh, Dr. Ramesh Sharma has said, there is no doubt that there is an AI touch in our daily life, right? There is no doubt. If you take a typical day, our choices, decisions are already is influenced by AI, right? And if you take educational landscape, the generative AI, like models like ChatGPT, has brought AI in the front, right? And it will continue. AI will continue to impact our life, revolutionizing different various fields. If you name any field or any technology, any tools, these days it's coming up with AI powered, right? AI enabled, right? So that much influence is there for AI in various fields. There is no doubt in that, right? So in this situation, the students' community is not different, right? So they are exposed to different kind of AI tools, and I'm hearing from teachers that they are using ChatGPT for their homeworks, right? There and believe me, I think they are ahead of teachers, right? In some of the aspect of making use of AI, right? So everyone should be data and AI literate, right? We talk about literacy, right? Language literacy. Same way, everyone should be AI and data literate. I think Ramesh sir talked about the scams which is happening, right, in this particular domain. So the awareness is very important, right? To bring awareness, right, and literacy. Now, when we talk about, especially for the student community, when we talk about AI and data literacy, what does that refers to, right? So they're exposed to many different AI tools and technology and apps, right? So they should know what's happening under the hood, right? What's happening, how it is working, right? And how it's impact me and around us, like more like ethics and biases, right? I think Deva, Aditya, and Ramesh sir has mentioned about it, ethics and biases and data privacy issues, right? So data is a key for any AI system. We know that data is key, right? So the data privacy aspect. So the student community should be aware of these things. They should know, right? That is very important. The AI data literacy is very important in this era, right? And why now? That is, I think, already know, right? The kind of a data explosion, right? That is, and as all the government, like most government agencies, initiatives are very keen to bring awareness in student community specifically, right? AI for Youth in India, if you take the CBC curriculum that no the government has brought in, so they're keen to bring awareness in and around AI and data, for sure, right? And the way the students learn, right? The way the new generation learn, right? And AI has influenced and impacted the way they learn, consume things, right? So that we should agree to that and change accordingly. Our education system should bring in change those changes, adapt those changes, right? Now coming to the CBSE curriculum, yeah, I think the optional curriculum we have, like CBSE has introduced class 9th and 10th, right? That there is a curriculum which is very good actually, right? So again, when you introduce a curriculum, right, having a curriculum and this pedagogy is in one place. Now, how do we bring practical aspect of it, right? The solution aspect of it, right? And how do we enable students to build applications using this particular AI technology is very important, right? So typical roadmap that we would suggest aligning a complementing to the AI curriculum that the CBSE, the NCERT has got, right? You just start with applications or the things that the students can relate to, right? It's not like you're studying a theory and doing the practicals. So usually now should be the reverse, the way around, actually, the reverse way around, meaning they should start with an application that they can relate to, that they have seen in the daily life, right? Then they should start from there. Okay, right? Something like maybe we can start with the image, which is making the data that they can relate around us, the natural data. So, for example, the images, right? The vision, the computer vision. I think Ramesh sir mentioned about it, the computer vision, right? The images, how we can collect. I mean, should cover all the AI life cycle. Like how do they collect that data, right? The data collection aspect. How do they manipulate or clean data, right? And how do they train, test, and build the model? Okay, now, if you have all the system, all the AI cycle in place, and you have a model, for example, a model which can identify two images, for example, say cat and the classical example, right? So you have the model, right? We have gone through all the phases of AI and we have the model. Now, how do we make application out of it? That's very important, right? So having a model is one thing, and how do we make practical or useful it could be fun application, it could be useful, it could be very serious or non-serious, but at the end of the day, should be applied to something. So that application we should bring in actually when you bring a new curriculum, specifically in AI domain, you should have that aspect, how they can build application out of it, right? So from image, slowly they can move to the kind of, like they are exposed to the Alexa and Siri series, right? So that kind of the assistants, right? AI assistants. So NLP, the natural language processing, how the machine can understand our language, right? How it is able to understand our language. So what is the technology behind, right? So the NLP, the natural language processing and natural language understanding, whatever you say, and build applications around that. The sentimental analysis aspect, right? There are many aspects of that. Slowly we can move to that. And then again, in all these kind of classification, whatever the model they make, they should make a useful application out of it. It's very important. It's very important actually. They should be making a useful application out of it. And again, coming to the data, right? The numbers, as if you take numbers as a data, how you visualize the data, right? How you visualize the data and how you infer some information from the data, from the plots or graph, how you infer. That inference is very important, right? You have a huge data set. How do you infer from that, right? So that is very important. And again, the prediction aspect, the recommendation aspect of any ML engine, right? The recommendation. And again, in each stage, there should be at end of each, this maybe we can treat as a level, different levels. In each level, we should make some or like make applications out of it. That's very important. Okay. And again, recommendation system. And at the end of the day, how they can make a chat GPT kind of conversational AIs, right? And again, the end of the end course should be they should be able to make use of these AI tools or AI this learning process to make some application, real world application. This should be the kind of typical roadmap. Yeah, I understand that curriculum is there, it's a theory aspect is very good. But how do we implement? How do we deliver the practical aspect of it is very important, right? And I understand this Python as like Python is just a tool for building application, right? But how do we again? How do we integrate Python with different kind of this ML application? How can they make use of that? That is very important. Okay, so this is a kind of recommended roadmap so that they can understand, by the context or real world examples, and they should make some applications, right? They should know like what they are doing, right, and make some application out of this. Very important, and from an industrial or solution perspective. Okay, and what we are doing in this domain is like we are a learning platform, AI, which we are like providing different like Python environment is there. Scratch. Scratch is it's a kind of a tool we can use no code platform which they can build applications, right? So this Python, Scratch, any tool they can use to make applications. So in our platform we have relevant context, age appropriate content. As I think Aditya was telling, like in YouTube and internet, you can get many like a lot of contents, right? So the children is like there is no like shortage of content, but is it age appropriate? Is it organized? Is it contextual based? Whether the children are able to relate to the classroom learning and real world examples, that's very important, right? And project based learning, I think, and the STEM methodology, and right, the interdisciplinary learning also, right? In this data science, the statistics and the probability aspect is like very much actually. So they know the mean, median, but how do we use in data analysis, right? How do we make use of it? That is very important, right? So that aspect, like classroom learning, is how they can bring in this kind of application building. And learning by doing, that is also very important. When they make project, they when you cover all these kind of life cycle from, if you talk about AI, the data collection to the model building and to make an application, right? So learning by doing, that pedagogy approach. And the students will like to have some kind of gamification, some kind of rewards and points to increase the curiosity and to make it them attentive in that particular learning system. And personalization, the adaptation, because each kid is different, like each student is different, each kid and learns in a different way. So how can bring that kind of personalization? That is also very important, right? So highlights.ai is a self-learning platform. I think Devaditya has mentioned about the tutor, right? So we have that AI tutor element where they can ask questions, and the tutor also will be triggered to that. That I think small version of that AI tutor is there. In our platform too. So these are the kind of elements, right, in our platform. And again, yeah, so the school ecosystem, right, should leverage the use of these kind of learning platforms, as Aditya was rightly telling, so that they can offload the teachers, some of the work, and they can concentrate on building some soft skills for the students. So to me, these are the two skills that the essential skill that the students should have, or students should, the teachers should promote, actually encourage students how they can tell a story, right? If you have the ability to describe a problem, right? If you have ability to have a build a story around a problem, then you know about the problem. That's very important, right? It is a storytelling ability. You should encourage the children to for this storytelling, right? That skill we should develop. Actually, we should encourage and should that's very important. And next aspect is like asking questions, right? Asking questions, asking the kind of right questions. That's very important because the solutions are there, the answers are there. If you ask the chat GPT, if you prompt, right, the prompt incident, if you ask the right kind of questions, the solutions are there, the answers are there. So the next generation skill that I think the students or the next generation should have is how do they tell a story, and how do they ask right kind of questions. These are very important. So teachers can concentrate on developing these skills, and some of the works they can offload to the learning platforms or the AI tutor that Devaditya sir was mentioning. So yeah, so this is from me as of now. Yeah, thank you.